Tariro Chapter 1. The night the drums went silent. The sun was disappearing behind the hills of Masvingo, deep in Zaka district, in a small village called Zivhu. The evening sky stretched wide with shades of orange, gold, and red while smoke curled from kitchens into the cooling air. Goats bleated in kraals, chickens hurried into coops, and women called children home before darkness covered the village. The dry roads carried familiar sounds: laughter, singing, grinding stones, barking dogs, and the beating of distant drums. Children played barefoot while elderly men sat beneath trees discussing harvests and cattle. Among all homes, one stood out: the Moyo homestead. Large but simple, built with years of hard work. Behind the house stretched maize fields, kraals with cattle, and trucks near a grinding mill serving villages. Tariro Moyo had built his life from nothing. People respected him not for riches but for generosity. No widow left hungry, no orphan was chased away, and even schoolchildren received help. During droughts, he donated maize meal quietly. Some called him Sakuru Vevenoshire, uncle of the poor. Musha Makadzi, he often said. A home is built by a woman. And truly, Tariro Moyo was the heart of that home. That evening she moved gracefully between kitchen and dining room carrying pots of food while softly singing a hymn. The smell of beef stew and sadza filled the yard. Inside, lantern light flickered warmly. 10-year-old Tariro sat on a reed mat with schoolbooks spread around her. She stopped suddenly and smiled. My teacher said my composition was the best in class today. Rudo appeared, smiling. Ah, my daughter. One day you will make us proud. I want to become a lawyer in Harare. A lawyer. So you can arrest stubborn people. They laughed together. Moments later, a vehicle engine entered the yard. Tariro ran outside barefoot. Baba is home. Tendai stepped out of his truck, tired but smiling. There is my little lawyer. He hugged her, then pulled out a packet. Maputi. Tariro screamed happily, dancing around. Rudo shook her head. You spoil her too much. She deserves happiness, Tendai replied. Inside, he placed his hand on Tariro's shoulder. Education is the one thing nobody can steal. Study hard. One day these businesses, these fields, everything I worked for, will belong to you. Rudo teased. You speak as if you are already old. Tendai laughed. I am preparing my daughter for life. Outside, darkness covered Zivhu. Near the gate, someone stood silently watching. Tariro Moyo, Tendai's younger brother. His clothes smelled of beer and smoke. His eyes scanned the house, truck, cattle. Jealousy burned inside him. For years he had watched his brother succeed while his own life collapsed through gambling. Tendai had helped him many times, but kindness never removed the poison in his heart. In his mind, everything his brother owned should have been his. That night he forced a smile and entered. Tendai. You arrived at the perfect time. Come eat with us. Joram greeted them warmly, but behind his smile hid darkness. At supper, the family sat around the table. Rudo served steaming sadza and beef stew. Tariro noticed her uncle restless, his hands shaking, sweat forming. At one point he slipped his hand into his jacket pocket. The child thought little of it. Halfway through supper, Tendai suddenly coughed painfully. Rudo looked at him with concern. Tendai. His breathing grew heavy. Suddenly Rudo gasped, dropping her spoon. Pain twisted across her face. Tariro stared. My. Within seconds both parents collapsed violently. Plates shattered, the lantern nearly tipped. Tariro screamed. Baba. She shook her mother desperately. My, wake up. But Rudo's lips were pale. Joram stood, pretending panic. Help. Somebody help. Villagers rushed in with torches. Tendai and Rudo were lifted into a truck rushing toward the clinic. Tariro sat squeezed between neighbors, crying uncontrollably while holding her mother's cold hand. At the clinic, nurses rushed outside. Doctors tried everything. But it was too late. Near midnight, the doctor lowered his head. I am sorry. Those words destroyed Tariro's world. She stared blankly as her parents' bodies were covered with sheets. Outside, cold wind moved through trees while thunder rolled across Masvingo. Tariro sat alone wrapped in a blanket too large for her body, eyes fixed on the clinic doors. Still hoping her parents would walk back out. Still believing this was only a nightmare. Nearby, hidden in darkness, Joram stood silently under a tree. Watching. Waiting. Already imagining himself as the new owner of everything his brother had built.